The role of a technical product manager, often called a TPM, sits at the intersection of product strategy and technology execution. Unlike general product managers who may focus more on business outcomes, technical product managers are expected to bring deeper technical expertise to the table. They collaborate with engineering teams, understand technical trade-offs, and ensure that products are built with scalability, performance, and user needs in mind. Because of this dual responsibility, companies value candidates who can balance strategic vision with technical depth. Preparing for a technical product manager interview requires more than just learning product frameworks. It involves demonstrating strong problem-solving, technical literacy, and leadership skills. Interviewers often assess not just how well you can prioritize features but also how effectively you can communicate with engineers, influence stakeholders, and make decisions under constraints. To succeed, you'll need to practice articulating your thought process, explaining technical concepts in simple terms, and showing how you balance user experience with engineering complexity. In this video, we'll walk through some of the most commonly asked technical product manager interview questions. For each one, you'll see a sample answer followed by actionable tips to help you refine your response. Question 1. How would you describe the role of a technical product manager? Here's the answer. A technical product manager is responsible for defining the product vision while also ensuring that technical requirements are well understood and addressed. Unlike a general product manager, I'm expected to collaborate closely with engineering teams, understand APIs, data flows, and architecture trade-offs, and then translate them into product features that align with business goals. Tip: highlight that the role is about bridging business and engineering, not just writing requirements. Question 2. How do you prioritize features when resources are limited? Here's the answer. I use a mix of frameworks like RICE, REACH, Impact, Confidence, Effort, or Moscow. Must have, should have, could have, won't have. For example, if two features both improve user experience, I would prioritize the one that impacts a larger user base with lower engineering effort. I also bring stakeholders into the discussion to make sure we're aligned on business objectives before locking priorities. Tip: show structured thinking. Mention frameworks, but also emphasize collaboration with stakeholders. Question 3. How do you handle trade-offs between business needs and technical constraints? Here's the answer. When a feature request conflicts with technical feasibility, I first clarify the business goal behind the feature. Then, I work with engineers to explore alternative solutions that deliver similar outcomes with lower complexity. For example, if real-time reporting is too costly to build initially, I might suggest a batch reporting system as a Phase 1 release while planning for real-time later. Tip: demonstrate that you can compromise smartly while keeping both perspectives in mind. Question 4. Can you explain APIs to a non-technical stakeholder? Here's the answer. I would explain APIs as digital bridges that let two systems talk to each other. For instance, if you've ever logged into a third-party site using your Google account, that's made possible by an API. In product management, APIs are crucial because they allow us to connect different systems and create seamless user experiences. Tip: interviewers look for your ability to simplify technical concepts for different audiences. Question 5. How do you work with engineering teams to define requirements? Here's the answer. I start by writing clear PRDs, product requirement documents, that include the problem statement, user stories, success metrics, and technical context. Then I collaborate with engineers in refinement sessions to validate assumptions, identify risks, and break down epics into manageable tasks. This approach ensures we're aligned before development starts. Tip: stress clarity, collaboration, and iterative refinement instead of throwing requirements over the wall. Question 6. How do you measure the success of a product you've launched? Here's the answer. I measure success through a combination of adoption metrics, customer feedback, and technical performance. For example, when I launched a new API product, we tracked developer adoption, response times, and error rates in addition to customer satisfaction scores. That gave us a full picture of both business and technical outcomes. Tip: Always combine business KPIs, adoption, revenue, retention, with technical metrics, latency, uptime, errors. Question 7. How do you handle disagreements with engineers on technical feasibility? Here's the answer. I approach disagreements with curiosity. First, I listen to the engineering perspective to understand why they think it's not feasible. Then, I ask clarifying questions and explore possible alternatives together. For example, in one project, engineers said real-time data sync would take months, so we agreed to deliver incremental batch sync first, which still satisfied business needs. Tip: show that you value engineers' input and approach conflicts with collaboration, not confrontation. Question 8. How do you balance short-term delivery with long-term technical debt? Here's the answer. I use a balanced approach. For critical releases, I may accept certain compromises but always document them. Then, I schedule refactoring or debt cleanup in the roadmap. For instance, we once shipped a quick solution for user uploads, but I pushed for a refactoring sprint later to improve scalability once adoption grew. Tip: mention that you don't ignore technical debt but plan it strategically to support growth. Question 9. How do you communicate complex product roadmaps to executives? Here's the answer. I focus on outcomes, not technical jargon. For executives, I frame the roadmap around business impact, like revenue growth, customer retention, or market expansion. Then, I provide high-level timelines and risks. If they want more technical detail, I'm ready to dive deeper, but I keep the first layer simple and business-focused. Tip: adapt your communication based on audience. Executives want strategy, not system diagrams. Question 10. How do you gather customer feedback for technical products? Here's the answer. I gather feedback through multiple channels: direct user interviews, customer advisory boards, surveys, and telemetry data from product usage. For technical products like APIs, developer forums and support tickets provide valuable insights. I combine qualitative and quantitative feedback before making roadmap decisions. Tip: highlight your multi-channel approach, data-driven plus direct user interaction. Question 11. Can you give an example of a time you influenced without authority? Here's the answer. In a previous role, I worked with a design team that didn't report to me. They resisted adding a new feature flow because of bandwidth. I gathered user feedback and created a business case that showed how the feature could reduce churn by 10%. Presenting this data convinced them to prioritize it, even though I wasn't their manager. Tip: use real-world stories. Interviewers want evidence that you can lead without direct control. Question 12. How do you stay updated on new technologies? Here's the answer. I stay updated by reading engineering blogs, following product podcasts, attending webinars, and experimenting with tools on my own. For example, I recently explored GraphQL to better understand its impact on APIs. Staying hands-on helps me communicate with engineers more effectively. Tip: employers want TPMs who are lifelong learners. Show curiosity and proactivity. Question 13. How do you define success in your role as a technical product manager? Here's the answer. Success for me means building products that users love, engineers are proud of, and the business benefits from. I know I'm succeeding when customers adopt features seamlessly, engineering teams feel heard and supported, and stakeholders see measurable outcomes like revenue growth or cost savings. Tip: keep it people-centric, not just metrics-driven. Balance customer, team, and business impact. Closing thoughts. A technical product manager interview is designed to test how well you can balance product thinking with technical fluency. It's not enough to know frameworks, you must also be able to speak engineers' language while keeping business stakeholders aligned. The key is to prepare structured answers, use clear examples, and demonstrate strong communication. If you approach your interview with confidence, empathy, and technical awareness, you'll prove that you're capable of excelling as a technical product manager. This role is about being a translator, a leader, and a problem solver, all at once.